You are watching the Doctalk show.
Substance abuse is definitely a growing threat. It's a global crisis, and we have to increase our efforts to prevent people from succumbing to this problem. We're going to talk about prevention, how we can prevent people from getting into the stage of addiction, and if there are people already in, how can we prevent them from progressing much further into the disease? Just to give us a bit of context in this slide, did you know substance abuse such as tobacco or alcohol have direct links to the rise of non-communicable diseases, which are the leading cause of death globally, contributing 70% of the deaths. So in that, it gives you, you can sense the urgency that prevention of substance abuse is top priority. So how can we prevent, if that's the correct word to say, prevent substance abuse? How can you protect people from going into substance addiction? Dr. Hilary.
Thank you. Some people believe that prevention might be difficult as they are socially acceptable and widely used substances, like you're mentioning tobacco and alcohol. And these are some of the companies that actually contribute a lot to the national coffers. However, there is what we call normal use, as we termed. There's acceptable amounts of like alcohol that can be used per week or per day. And then when you go beyond that, you go into abuse. How to prevent this is knowing that, knowing your limits. You know that there is a certain amount of alcohol that can be consumed. This applies to alcohol. For there are other substances like cannabis that are all opioids that are completely illicit or contraband.
So there's no daily use for cannabis?
No.
Unlike alcohol, you can say one bottle. For cannabis, doesn't apply?
Yes, there of course media reports about the use of cannabis in a medical management of some conditions like terminal cancers, but that has to be prescribed. It is a contraband for you to go and start using cannabis that I'm treating this condition also. It has to be prescribed. Okay. How you can prevent is because some of these substances are readily available and socially acceptable, is knowing your limits. Now, if you know that your parents died due to complications of substance use, especially alcohol, then you know that they can be genetically predisposed. Avoid alcohol as much as you can. If you know that your parents or relatives, close relatives, have been affected in a way, they have lost their jobs, they have broken relationships, they have had accidents originating from having used the substances, know that the risks are higher. So you need to avoid them.
So that's just having the background knowledge.
Exactly.
But then what can the leaders, the community leaders, the government, what should it do to come out strongly against the substances?
There have been suggestions of increasing the taxation on some of these substances. I think you may be aware that tobacco companies pay the highest taxes. The idea behind is to increase the prices for these substances to be able not to be easily affordable by everyone. And those who even can afford, you feel the pinch.
Then you start changing.
Exactly. You consume less because you end up spending a lot more. Okay. And political leaders can take that stand and continue increasing these substances. We have had the substance of the so-called Cavera being so common, and there have been calls for banning this Cavera. So that the whole idea.
You mean the alcohol in the Caveras, the plastic colorless bags?
Yes.
The ones with no labels.
Well, there are those with the labels, there are those without labels, there are those with the labels. But the whole idea is to reduce on the accessibility and the price of these substances. You find that one sachet of Waraji costs 500 shillings. This is money that can easily be affordable. And you find that you need like maybe one sachet or two to get high. So if we eliminate that kind of amount, then you reduce on the accessibility and you prevent some of these challenges.
Important point there. So Dr. Dan, what do you think? What are your views on preventing substance abuse on the overall?
Just in addition to what Dr. Hilary has said, a lot of people that tend to get addicted to substances will have started using these quite early on, especially in the teenage years, where the brain is undergoing a lot of migration and pruning. So if alcohol use is started a bit later on, probably in above 20, I'd say, though that would be a bit difficult. That would reduce the tendency to then get into dependence.
So basically, we should increase the age at which people start drinking.
Yes.
To like 30.
That would be too high.
Yeah, but basically, you want the age limit to be raised. Do you think that will have a positive effect?
I'd say 20, to avoid the teenage years.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So what about the narcotics when it comes to things like narcotics? What can be done about that?
Just like Dr. Hilary said, so we would have to use strict laws, very, very strict laws, and also limit the accessibility. I think it's a little bit easier to get narcotics here in Uganda, so we need to regulate that quite seriously, and also accredit practitioners who are to prescribe these narcotics, and they should do a course as well, instead of having a lot of people prescribing. Just a few people should be in control of these.
Okay, I agree with you. So you've heard it from the experts in the field of substance abuse. You've learned of the detrimental effects it has on your health and what you should do to overcome this problem. There are treatment centers available. If you are struggling with this problem, please go to your nearest hospital, and the doctor there will refer you to an appropriate rehabilitation center. If you have young children or youth and you're concerned that they might be developing these bad habits of using substances, you should seek help. Seek help from the appropriate people. There are lots of help groups, I imagine. Dr. Hilary has lots of experience there, and people can support you. We can take the children through a rehabilitation phase, and we'll get them out of that problem of addiction. Because we know usually once someone is addicted, the trend is usually very poor. It takes a downward spiral. So therefore, it's important to catch it early and monitor and supervise the children or the youth so that they don't progress in this disease. So I want to thank you very much, Dr. Diana Besinje and Dr. Hilary Rimaso, for giving us a celebrate discussion on substance abuse. I really hope the viewers out there have learned something and they know what to do, especially as we go into this festive season. Maybe as we conclude, now the festive season is upon us. What advice can you give, Dr. Hilary? Are you going to tell people do not drink?
I cannot control people's lifestyles. Of course, I know they'll drink, I'll probably drink, but it's knowing that everyone has a limit.
The people are responsible for their lives.
Exactly.
Whatever happens to them.
There will be alcohol easily accessible in their homes, so you just have to prevent children from using alcohol and other substances, and know that you drink responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsibly.
Yes.
And no use of narcotics.
No use of narcotics. Exactly.
Okay, any final words, Dr. Diana, before we close?
Actually, I just remembered that in Uganda, a lot of people think wine is not alcohol. Is that still the case?
Yeah.
Yes, they get confused alcohol. That they think it's not alcohol, but it is alcohol. Even in the Bible, they say Jesus drank wine. So it is indeed an alcohol drink. And it classifies as alcohol. So if you're using a lot of wine, yes, you qualify under the category of alcohol disorder or abuse. So we'll see you next time on the Doctalk Show. Please send in your comments and questions on our social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. We're always happy to hear from you. If you have any questions regarding substance abuse, whatever type of substance, whether it's narcotics, alcohol, tobacco, or the likes, send in your questions. We shall be happy to refer you to the appropriate specialists for help. As for me and my team from the Doctalk studio, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time.